Hi, everyone. It's Kate Byers, founder of the Good Life Institute, creator of Corporate Women Unleashed. We are here for our second segment in our series of March Madness myth busting. We're talking about common myths that lead successful women right into burnout. And today I want to talk about sabbaticals because I think it's very, very common advice when someone's starting to feel burnout. You're starting to feel exhausted, you're starting to feel overwhelmed, that a family member, a friend, some well-meaning person, your boss says, why don't you just take a break? Take a long weekend. One of my favorite things is when I hear someone's boss go, oh, he told me to take Friday off, or she told me to take, a long weekend at the spa. Okay. When you are reaching a state of burnout, what you will start to feel is obviously exhausted. You'll start to feel less and less engaged and attached to your work. It'll no longer feel like, oh, I can't wait to do that project. It's sort of like, ugh, I just don't care anymore. And you start to force yourself to do things, right? That's a problem. That's your body biologically and psychologically shutting down to protect itself and saying, you can't keep running at this pace. You're mentally exhausted, you're emotionally exhausted, you're physically exhausted. Now, should you take a sabbatical? Always, always, always do something to protect your health. I mean, obviously, if you need to go away and sleep all day at a spa or whatever, please do those things. But that's not a cure for burnout, especially if you've seen yourself go through a cycle of, I work for 2-3 months, I crash, I burn, go to the spa, then start again, work for 2-3 months, crash and burn. That's not how to live your life. We can't just have like a spa date every quarter just to like pick ourselves up off the pavement. Right? We're talking about quality of life. I mean, the reason we're working so hard and the reason we want to be successful is to have options, to move about the cabin, to have the resources to do interesting things with our life, not to work your butt off, only to have a vacation where you sleep flat on your face for a week and then get back up and work again. Like, where's the joy in that? Okay. So the other common thing we hear is like, take a sabbatical, like take a month off, take that year off and go to Paris, or take the summer off and blah, blah, blah. I'm all for sabbaticals, okay? If that sabbatical is something you really want to do. And what we see is a lot of women using a sabbatical, again, as a way to lick your wounds and to heal instead of really going and doing something you love to do, right? Like if you've always wanted to live on a houseboat, go live on a houseboat for a year. If you've always wanted to hike across South America, go hike across South America. Take 3 months off, hell yeah. But if you're like, I just can't take this anymore and I have to just, get out of this life, that's escaping. So when we start having fantasies of escapism, that's a sabbatical is not going to help you. You're going to take the sabbatical. You'll go do whatever. You'll go live in wine country for 3 months. And then what's going to happen? You're going to come right back and then just re-spin up all the burnout that got you there in the first place. So sabbaticals don't work, and it's BS. And it ticks me off when people say, oh, you just need a sabbatical. No, you don't. You need to do a new way to work. And I get it because I took sabbaticals. I took those vacations. I slept. I remember one time I took my daughter to the Dominican Republic. I was so excited. Typical high achiever. I was like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And I had all these great, itinerary of things we were going to do. And we got there and I just like laid on my face. Like I didn't even want to leave the hotel room because all of the mental strain, all of the stress, all of the pressure caught up with me. And then I was just like, I am just exhausted. You know what I mean? Oh, that's not really fun. She's like, she finally gets her mommy to like play with her. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm too tired to really do anything. We did like 2 things and then, that was it for a week. And it was like, man, like I am missing out on my life. This is crazy. So sabbaticals don't do the trick. What you do and what we want to achieve is we want to achieve that freedom and that vitality and that excitement for life on a daily basis. Do you have challenges? Yes, of course you do. That's what happens at this level. You're going to have challenges, right? So it's not the absence of challenges. It's just how you handle those things. And you don't have to have a sabbatical to pick yourself up off the floor. You don't have to have a bottle of wine or a large cheese and pepperoni pizza or anything else. It's just, this is what I do. And yeah, I do operate at this level, but I don't have to constantly have sabbaticals. Now, I am a big fan of taking breaks, but breaks throughout the day or breaks throughout the week. Like one of my favorite things to do is I'm a big, like, go walk the dog kind of a gal. I love just like walking around the block with my dog, walking down to the park, walking down to the lake, walking on the trails. And I will do this several times a week, even in the middle of the day. even when my email box is screaming at me, even when everyone's waiting for me to come to a meeting. It's like, no, I have to do this. I have to protect my mental and emotional well-being at all costs. And then when I'm in my workplace mode or my mom mode or my wife mode or whatever it is, or whatever hat that I'm wearing, I'm fully there because I'm rested. I've had time to escape. I've had time in my mind, I've had time to rest my mind. And then of course, what do you do when you're at the spa or you're walking your dog or whatever? You're not just sitting there with like blank space. You're like solving problems. I mean, that's just the way the mind works, right? And so that's what you want to be doing. That's a little mini sabbatical in the middle of the day, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But if all you're going to do is like, I call it hold your breath, like, I'm going to hold my breath and I'm just going to work and grind it out for the next 3 months. And then when I get to this place, I'll finally kiss my kids and my spouse and go to the spa. That's just burnout. That's just like you are setting yourself up for burnout. You can't do that, ladies. That mode of working or that way of working was given to us. It is culturally endemic. And if anyone can change it, women can, right? You don't have to work that way. And I don't care if everyone around you is working that way, good on them. You need to take care of yourself. And when you take care of yourself, then you'll never need a sabbatical. You get to, like, life's just great every day. I think the one thing that's so cool for me is like what our clients will say. They're like, Kate, it's not that there's something that it's like, what is it? It's like, I don't know how to describe. They'll say like, I don't know how to describe how I'm feeling. It's like the absence of, it's not what I'm getting, it's what I'm getting rid of. The absence of stress, the absence of the frenzied pace, the absence of the stress in the mind and all the festering. It's like, I just feel calm and content every day and nothing's changed. My job's still the same. My family's still the same. The challenges of my life are still the same. I'm just able to just deal with it and just move through it and have a lot of fun. And I'm carving out more time for myself and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. It's that simple. It's hard to get there. Believe me, it's not easy because you got to rewire how you think. You got to rewire your mindset. It takes a new mental acuity, it takes a new emotional acuity, and it takes new strategies, obviously. So it's simple, but it's not easy, right? And that's what prevents you from having to take a sabbatical. So let's just debunk the myth that sabbaticals work, because they don't. I mean, they're wonderful. It's like a great vacation. You look back on that and go, oh, remember that time we were, whatever, yachting around the Mediterranean? Sure. I mean, that's an awesome memory. Who wouldn't want to do that? Go do that. But do that because you're looking forward to doing that, because it's going to be an awesome experience, not because you think you're going to solve your burnout. That doesn't solve burnout. That's just escaping, getting some, what do you want to call it? Like getting a little bit of wind beneath your sails again, and then you're headed back towards the iceberg. So instead of continuing on the Titanic, let's just jump off the Titanic and like have a new boat. How about that? That would be my goal. So I hope this has been happy for you or helpful for you. I would love to hear more myths. Like, what are some of the other myths or what are some of the other beliefs that you might have or questions you have? Or maybe I could help debunk that or give you guys another strategy or way to think. Put it in the comments below. And if any of you have ever taken a sabbatical, I want to know where you went. You guys know I went to the British Virgin Islands. So, and then I hid out in Florida for several years after that. It was a very long sabbatical. So, which wasn't effective. And here's the other reason that sabbaticals don't work before I close this off. We take the sabbatical, it's supposed to refresh us. Then we're supposed to come back ready to be game on, and it's never enough. And then we feel broken, we feel sad, we feel depressed, we feel anxious, and we think, what's wrong with me? The sabbatical was supposed to work. Everybody told me this was going to work, and it doesn't. You know what I mean? And then what it does is it just further compounds the fears that there's something wrong with us, that we are an imposter, that we aren't able to cut it, that we are failing. It doesn't work to our benefit many times. And again, it's a wonderful escape. It's a wonderful long vacation. It's a wonderful experience, but it doesn't help you come back into your job and work any differently. It's just like a pause of life, right? And that's what I learned pretty quickly in the British Virgin Islands. I mean, I took the crazy with me. I was down there like rewiring the dive shop and remerchandising it and trying to improve the business model and trying to think about all these great ways to do new customer service and bring more income into this little dive shop I was working at, which was fun. I mean, it was a great experience, but again, didn't reserve my burnout, didn't change my burnout, and it didn't teach me to work differently. I brought all my crazy work habits with me to an island. right? And so if it doesn't work, then what happens is you just end up being resentful. You don't want to go back to work. You think there's something wrong with you, and it almost makes things harder. So the best thing to do is to work differently so you enjoy your success, and then go take a year off and go do something amazing that you really want to do, that is a killer experience for you. It's memory making, it's a bucket list. Like, I love that. Your career can survive you not being in it for a year. That's awesome, but don't do it to escape. Does that make sense? Okay, so put in the comments below another myth that you want me to bust this during our March Madness myth busting series. I'll be happy to do a broadcast on it. Can't wait to hear from you. And in the meantime, if you are burning out, if you're thinking a sabbatical is the answer, please give our team a call before you make that leap and pull that trigger. Far too many women do we work with who said, I pulled the trigger, I leaned out and I didn't have to. Now I'm trying to play catch up. Now I'm trying to get back to where I was. Now I'm whatever. Like, don't put yourself in that state of suffering. Just give us a call. If we can help you, great. If we can't, we'll refer you to someone else or something else that can. And we'd love to talk to you. So take a look at some of the training we've got in the links below. And then again, we'd be happy to talk to you.